Tommy Martin's location is along a railroad right-of-way embankment, an area with good cover and deeper water. However, Tommy's evidently not fishing the best spot in this area. Just over the tracks, unbeknownst to Tommy, is a flooded backwater lake that David Fritz, the 1993 Bassmasters Classic champion, has discovered. Besides good average depth in the old pond that evidently has a resident population of bass, David Fritz has a real ace in the hole. None of the other contestants are aware of this spot. Although shown on Fritz's map, he was fortunate to get through the flooded timber along the river. He's pitching a plastic crawworm with a garlic scent. To the south, in the Havana-Liverpool area, Jay Yellis of Texas has also put together a solid fish-catching pattern. Yellis, the hottest young pro on the BASS circuit, is fishing a Stanley Vibrashaft spinnerbait in shallow water. He's making repeated casts to openings in a flooded milo field with grass clumps.
Well, I've got 3 of them rigged up. I got a 3/8, a half, and a 3/4, all with different sizes of blades and everything, but the one that I've been catching them on today is this one. It's a 1/2 ounce with a small Colorado and a number 7 Indiana blade. Yesterday, when the sun was out, I could see little fry just everywhere. And with the water so high, that's why this spot is good, because it's a place where the bass can actually find the shoreline and some real shallow water to spawn. And that's hard to find. I mean, you could run probably a 10-mile radius around us here and not find the shoreline anywhere. It's just a little high spot out in the middle of all this flooded cover. I think a lot of these fish are, the little male bass are guarding their fry, and I'm catching them on the spinnerbait. Haven't caught any big ones yet. Well, I've had a couple of fish just kind of, I'll be reeling a spinnerbait in and they'll just come up and bump it like they're just trying to knock it away from the fry. If I make a repeated, some repeated casts in the same spot, I can usually get them to hit.
There's that key explanation again. When fishing high water, get to the bank. Find a shoreline where the bass can be hemmed up. Sounds simple, but at the day one weigh-in, former SuperStars winner Denny Brower explains it's not so routine.
How do you know where the heck to start?
Well, I've always felt the key when water gets this high is to find a place where you can get to the bank, and that's what the fish do. They're wanting to get in a certain depth of water, and you got to find that depth and something for them to more or less a stopping zone.
Best creel of the day, 5 bass and 9 pounds 15 ounces belongs to David Fritz. He's the only angler thus far to find his way into that backwater pond. But Robert Hamilton of Mississippi is only 2 ounces behind. His 5 bass limit came from a flooded duck lake located down south. Jay Yellis checks in 9 pounds 8 ounces in 3rd place with 5 bass. And Zell Rowland of Texas ranks 4th, scoring 8 pounds 14 ounces on 4 keepers. Zell earns a bonus $1,000 for the day's big bass, 3 pounds 13 ounces. George Cochran, the 1987 world champion, is 5th with 8 pounds 10 ounces. Denny Brower ranks 6th, only 1 pound 10 ounces behind the leader. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will continue in a moment with more how-to tips and tactics for river bassin'.
Now don't come off.
Tournament leader David Fritz is known as a crankbait specialist, but in SuperStars 95, his lure choice is a plastic crawworm rigged Texas style. His presentation is slow, methodical, pitching to targets and shaking it through the brush.
The water's up so high, them fish can be all back in there and you can't even get to them. If it's down a little bit, they'd be out here on the edge, it'd be a lot easier to catch. These pond bass are strange. Seems like every good fish I've caught, I've threw in there and just threw and threw and threw and threw, and all of a sudden, he'll bite.
The water level is dropping in Jay Yellis's flooded farm field, but the bass are holding in the grass.
I'm catching my fish real shallow. They're all in, I would say, 18 inches of water or less up in this shallow flooded grass. And a lot of the fish are up in there that looking to spawn. With the water falling so fast, I think a lot of them haven't spawned yet. I was thinking yesterday that a lot of them had because I was seeing a lot of fry, but those fry that I'm seeing they're not bass fry. These fish they're super shallow. That's the key to catching them. 2 weeks ago when I come up here to pre-fish, they were on that point. I caught made one pass down that point and had like 10 keepers in one pass on a jig. But it's deeper out there. They were kind of a pre-spawn area. They just moved in, They're holding on that point. In the 2 weeks since the tournament went off limits, they've moved up into this shallow flooded grass, which is, you know, a good spawning area. The spawning areas are few and far between this year with the water so high. There's very little water that's shallow. And that's what's good. This area is not only shallow, but it's got a lot of good flooded cover in it. And the bass are in there. I think they're just cruising in the area. I think there's a lot of fish here. It seems like there are. Like right back there, I caught those 3 in a row. I think they're just kind of cruising in little wolf packs, moving in to feed, and they're getting up in that real shallow 1-foot zone and just cruising it back and forth. I'm catching most of my fish way back up inside the grass, way up by the bank. I haven't caught anything on this outside edge of it.